Y'all, Miss Angie laid her first egg yesterday. Now her and Meadow back there are 2 egg layers. Hopefully Adriana's not too far behind, but she's always a bit behind. Good morning. I am about to go on a solo hike at a state park about an hour from here. And the hike I'm planning on doing is about 7.5 miles, but from the reviews I've read, people say it's pretty easy, and that it's great for birders, which we know is me, so I'm really excited. So I'm gonna drive about an hour. It's pretty overcast today, but I don't think it's gonna rain, so that should be pretty good weather. Hopefully I can see some birds, and yeah, I'm super excited. I'm gonna listen to my audiobook on the way. I have just stopped to go ahead and eat my lunch. Here's what it's looking like behind me. So I packed a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I used the bread ends for this sandwich, so trying to be sustainable here. Bird-wise, I've seen nothing, no like new birds that I haven't seen before, but I've seen some vireos, some titmice, some cardinals. I've heard a northern flicker, which those are really, really beautiful, very cool, but I haven't actually been able to see them. Oh, and I've seen some nuthatches, some white-breasted nuthatches. So I'm gonna sit here, eat my lunch. I'm a little over 4 miles in, so got like 3-ish left to go. Gonna enjoy my lunch and keep going. Here is the lunch view. All right, y'all, I have officially finished the hike. It was about 7.5 miles. It was great. The weather was perfect. It was like in the 60s, a little bit overcast, so it wasn't super hot or anything like that. Saw some good birds. Didn't see anything new, which is totally fine, but saw a lot of red-bellied woodpeckers, some vireos, some nuthatches, heard a lot of northern flickers, but wasn't able to see any of them. They're a bit elusive and they like to be up high. But yeah, feeling good. Gonna drive home, maybe call a friend. But overall, very successful hike. Here we are. I just wanted to give a little bit of a Peggy update. So Peggy is the one who has been having some symptoms. She has been sneezy, a little bit of kind of bubbling discharge around her eyes. We have her separated right now. She kind of has her own little setup. Yeah, there she is sneezing a little bit. So, this is her little setup. She's been separated for about 2 weeks now. You're supposed to be able to pick them when you see their shoulders, and I feel like this one and this one are definitely looking pretty good. So I'm gonna go for this guy first. Let's see. Look at that. Classic looking radish. These are the sparkle white tips, I believe. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick this other one. This one's a little bit funky shaped. There's another. Let's see if any of the rest of these. This one may be starting to get there. This guy getting close. The rest of these, gonna give them a bit more time. Broccoli and Brussels sprouts going strong. But look at those bees. That makes me so happy. Our tomatoes are still going absolutely insane, even though it's October. Benefit of living somewhere that stays pretty warm, I suppose. But yeah, let's see what we can get from these tomato plants. Now, this tomato has obviously been a bit of a victim of some things. We've got some really bad splitting, and then I think some bugs have gotten in here, but that's okay. Just means it's gonna be a chicken snack. We'll cut it up into some pieces and give that to them. Pick some of these blue boar's berries. They turn yellow when they're ready. This is not one of the blue boar's berries, but it's like just starting to blush a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this guy inside. This blue boar's berries tomato plant has had an absolutely insane season. Is still producing so much. Got one of our big heirlooms. Obviously she's got some splitting up on the top, that's okay. But she's starting to blush. This is a Cherokee purple. We have been getting so many tomatoes so late in the season that we're like trying to make sandwiches so often just to try and get through all of them. These are all the blue boar's berries that I've gotten so far. I keep doing this thing where I come out to harvest and I don't bring my basket. So, you know, that's fine. Gonna fix that. There are so many bees on our marigolds right now. You see them? That makes me so happy. That is like why we plant them. So the bees are having a feast, and I am so happy about it. Now I have my basket so I can show you my heart. Look at my tiny but very mighty harvest basket. We've got a couple radishes that are looking just so delightful. And the fact that those came from a seed not long ago at all. And I have a bunch of blue boars tomatoes and a few heirlooms. So thank you so much for watching this harvest. I'm gonna go check to see if there are any eggs and call it a day. Here is our final harvest basket. I got a little egg from Angie, our tomatoes, and our couple of radishes. I am pretty proud of this little harvest, I can't lie to you. Just to give a little bit more background on what we think Miss Peggy might have going on. Since she's been holding steady with these symptoms about 2 weeks, not really getting any worse, but also not getting better to the point of being able to be back with the flock. So we consulted an online vet and they confirmed what we had been kind of thinking about. Angie's in there screaming because she wants me to let them out. But Peggy, we think, has MG, Mycoplasma gallisepticum, I think is how you pronounce it. And this is very common. Through our research, we found that at least half of all backyard flocks are suspected to have MG within their flocks. So basically what that means, MG is not something that you're just going to be able to eradicate without actually culling the flock. So what we're going to do is just treat the symptoms as they come. So we have a course of antibiotics that we're putting Peggy on now based on what was recommended by the vet. So we have her on that. It's just within her water. And so basically MG is, the rest of them probably already have it, but we're still keeping Peggy separated for the time being until she stops showing symptoms. So MG will basically be within your flock forever. They'll just occasionally get sick, have these cold-like symptoms and things like that. So definitely disappointing news, as we know MG is probably just going to be within our flock for the foreseeable future. But supposedly the first time that they get any sort of symptoms is supposed to be the worst. So we're hoping that that's true, and that if Peggy gets sick again, then it won't be as extended of period of time or as extreme. But yeah, so it's most likely within our flock. It doesn't affect the safety of the eggs. It doesn't get transferred to humans. The only thing to really be cognizant of is if you do put them on antibiotics, you just want to make sure that they can cycle through their system before you eat the eggs. With Peggy, that's not a problem since she's not laying yet, but just something to be aware of. But the actual eggs themselves with chickens who are carriers does not have a negative effect on human health and after human consumption of the eggs. So we figured out that that's probably what's happening. The like kind of foaming, bubbling in the eyes is a really typical symptom of MG, and then just sneezing. Luckily, Peggy is still really interested in eating and drinking. She's still doing really well with that. And she also has tons of energy still. We've been letting her out to run around, and she has still been acting like her normal self in that way, and she's still growing, which is great. So we feel pretty good about that. Trying to look on the bright side and knowing that this is very common in backyard flocks. Really, you should only be concerned about it is if you're selling chicks or eggs to others, because it will be passed through the egg to the offspring. So something to keep in mind, but we're keeping Peggy separated until she can get a full course of antibiotics, hopefully start feeling better. Yeah, that's what's going on there. The rest of them have not shown any symptoms, but again, they probably are all carriers. They probably all already had it, potentially from the place we got them from. We're not totally sure because it can spread like from flock to flock, but they haven't really been around any other chickens other than where they came from. So that's what's going on with Peggy. She has been feeling fine, we think. She seems to be doing okay. So yeah, hopefully she keeps going strong and healing up, and these antibiotics do her a whole lot of good.